I'm not exactly sure what Vortex has to do with this book. I'm sorry, I didn't pay attention. It had to have been used at least once in the book, and I just didn't see it. So it's my fault. But here we are with book 25. Welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina Tina. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, no fancy thumbnails to catch your attention. So this is book 25 of the Catherine Coulter FBI series featuring Sherlock and Dylan Savich. And we only have 2 books left, and then that's it. Catherine has called it quits at book 27. I have not read book 27 yet. We will get to that in a couple days. We are coming to the end of this series. And to tell you the truth, I thought about this after I read it. And I was like, do you know that Sherlock and Savik are almost Dylan more than Lacey? And that's only because we'll get to that in a second. But they're almost guest stars in their own book. This is different. It has 3 open cases, 3 separate cases. The cases never touch each other. And Sherlock and Dylan are not involved in, well, they are, but not quite a bit. There's no additional FBI. All right, yes, there's FBI. There's quite a few FBI. But what I'm saying is, Dylan doesn't assign another agent in his group to go investigate something in another town, in another state, or someplace else. He doesn't assign. There's not another lead FBI agent in this book. The 2 leads, the 2 investigators, one is military and one is a reporter. So they're doing the military lady, Olivia, and the reporter, Mia. Especially Mia. She does a lot. Handles most of the investigation. They're front of center. And I will confess, even though I've read these books a really, 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 really long time, I was confused because Mr. Maitland is in this book. And when I see Mr. Maitland in this book, I'm thinking of Dylan's boss. But the Mr. Maitland in this book is Mr. Maitland's son. And me, a longtime reader, even got that confused. It took me almost the whole book to figure that one out. But, so we have our 3 cases. One case is handled by Sherlock and another FBI agent. She calls Sherlock in for advice. And because they've been working on the case for a while, they've got a potential serial killer. And Sherlock solves the case a couple days. So that's her little side piece. It's like a little short story. It's like Catherine put a little short story in here just for Lacey Sherlock. So Sherlock comes in, solves the case. Then we have our 2 other cases, our 2 bigger cases. And I had to look this up, and it drove me crazy. It took me about 30 minutes, but I finally found it. I ended up going just through my own bookshelf to figure it out. But there's a couple of boys, men, who are best friends and will do anything for each other. And they even commit crimes for each other and be each other's alibi and cover for each other. They roofie girls, have their way with the girls, all this kind of stuff. And in their college days, one of those girls ends up deceased. And they bury her out in the forest. And her disappearance is a disappearance for 7 years. So you get that first couple chapters of their teenage years, and then the book skips ahead 7 years later with Mia, who was a friend of the deceased and is investigating. She gets assigned to do this report on this political figure running for mayor. And along the way, picks up clues to her best friend's murder. And she really puts her neck out there. And these two best friends remind me of J.D. Robb's Indulgent in Death, where these two best friends murder people along the way. It happens a couple times in J.D. Robb's series. There's another couple of sets. There's an apprentice in death, a father-daughter. And there's also another set of two rich boys who do it by a different method with women. But they're only killing women. But, so these frat boys are doing a similar thing, but they've also committed other crimes along the way. So Mia does a really good job of investigating. And she also puts her neck out on the line. And someone tries to kill her. Have a car drive up on the sidewalk and almost hit her. But it fails. So you know Mia's getting close to the truth. And Sherlock is involved. She witnesses something, but she wasn't fast enough to stop it. And she has a little bit of guilt towards the end of the book for that. So Mia is investigating. She starts interviewing this political figure and then determines that this political figure has committed all of these crimes. And she's gathering evidence to prove this. And Lacey's in New York for her other little bitty case. Or actually, yeah, Washington up there. And she's also doing an interview with one of Mia's coworkers for all her FBI exploits. So Tommy Maitland calls her. See, this is why I thought Maitland was the boss. It just confused me. But he had Sherlock go talk to Mia, and Mia filled her in, and her and Sherlock work to get some extra information. They even get some of the women to come forward who they've wronged to testify. And they get that case together. And then we have this third case of the military. This military operation, this guy was working undercover, and he gained the information he needed. And just as they were about to escape, his undercoverness was uncovered and his identity revealed. And people were sent in to retrieve him. And in the retrieval method, things go to a handbasket. And this lady survives, but she's injured. The undercover agent gave her the flash drive, but she's injured. So her pal, Mike, takes the flash drive from her injured hand so the hospital doesn't get hold of it. So no one else gets a hold of it while she's in the hospital. And when he arrives home, he discovers there are people out to kill him. And he's thinking that he's an affiliation of the CIA. And that means that someone in the CIA is bad. Someone in the CIA is the reason the undercover agent got undercovered. So he goes on the run. So you have those three cases. And this military lady contacts Dylan, and he helps her out with that case. And that case, the military case, Olivia takes up most of the book. Dylan works with her. And Sherlock ends up working with Mia. But there's one part with Olivia's case. She's got FBI agents working with her, but not Dylan's people, someone else. And she actually talks the FBI agent, who's supposed to be protecting her, by the way, to let her go out for pizza by herself. And then, of course, she gets ambushed. You could see that coming. The guy needs to be fired. You're supposed to be protecting somebody, and you let them go out for pizza by themselves. Are you nuts? Are you absolutely freaking nuts? Really? You're protecting somebody. Your responsibility is to protect this person, and you let them go out for pizza by themselves. Are you freaking nuts? But that happens. And I guess Catherine needed to give the chick a reason to get exploited by the bad guys. So those are your three cases. The little itty-bitty one that Sherlock handles. And then Dylan with the military lady. Working with her. They pull a couple of good ones. To get the bad guys to show themselves. Dylan goes with her. And they go to a mall and they go shopping. And give the kidnappers a chance to get her so they can follow the kidnappers back to their lair. Because you don't know this up until like the end of the book. They've captured somebody. And she's gonna go and do an exchange. But they set the whole thing up. Dylan sets out, but you don't know that when you're reading it. But so those are your Sherlock with the little case. And then Sherlock helps Mia with the politician's case, the big case. They've committed a ton of crimes. They've committed murders. And they've gotten away with it. Almost like indulgence in death. And then we have Dylan's case with the military lady. And it just felt to me, except for that little part with Sherlock, it felt like they were guest stars in their own book. And it was just the first time that we didn't have other FBI agents working with civilians to solve a case. It's Dylan and Savich working with civilians who are doing most of the solving on their own. So that was interesting. That was an interesting book. It was a good read. And let me just check my notes. I don't think yeah, that's it. So we have Reckoning in a couple days. And in a couple days we have Flashpoint. And then that's it. That's the end of the series. So Vortex, book 25. Check it out. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Thank you.